Aries, stop scrolling for just a moment, because if you've been feeling like something is about to happen, but you can't quite explain what it is, this message may be arriving at exactly the right time. August 22nd carries a different kind of energy. It's not just about dreaming anymore. It's about deciding. Something you've been thinking about, imagining, praying about, or quietly hoping for may be moving from the invisible world of possibility into the very real world of action. And here's the part I want you to remember. Your moment may already be closer than you think, but there is one decision you may need to make before the next chapter can fully open. So stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal the 3 signs that can show you this transition is already happening, and the final one may appear when you least expect it. Aries, this is not the time to keep waiting for permission. This is the time to listen. 1. When a dream starts asking for a decision, there is a difference between wanting something and being ready for it. For a while, you may have been living in the space of imagination. You imagined the relationship. You imagined the new opportunity. You imagined the financial breakthrough. You imagined becoming a stronger, more confident version of yourself. But imagining something is safe. Deciding to pursue it is different, because the moment you decide, your old life starts responding. You have to change your habits. You have to change your priorities. Sometimes you even have to change the people you allow to influence you. And that is exactly why this energy can feel uncomfortable. Your mind may say, wait. Your fear may say, what if it doesn't work? Your past may say, you tried this before. But something deeper inside you may be saying, this time is different. Aries, pay attention to that voice, because August 22nd is less about receiving a random miracle and more about recognizing the moment when you are finally ready to participate in your own transformation. The universe can open a door, but you still have to walk through it. And sometimes the biggest sign is not something dramatic happening outside of you. Sometimes the sign is simply this: you no longer want what you used to tolerate. 2. The first sign, your old pattern starts feeling too small. Here is the first sign. Something that once felt normal may suddenly feel completely wrong. Maybe it's a routine. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's a relationship dynamic. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself. You may notice yourself thinking, I can't keep doing this. That sentence is powerful because transformation often begins with dissatisfaction. Not the kind of dissatisfaction that makes you bitter, the kind that wakes you up. You realize that you've outgrown an old version of yourself. And Aries, when you outgrow something, you cannot always explain why you no longer fit there. You just know. You feel it. You sense it. And sometimes other people may not understand. They may ask, why are you changing? Why are you acting differently? Why don't you want the same things anymore? But you don't need everyone to understand your transformation. You only need to understand your direction. August 22nd can represent that internal shift from unconscious repetition to conscious choice. Instead of saying, this is just how my life is, you begin saying, this is what I choose now. That is a completely different energy. And once you change that sentence, you begin changing your life. 3. Why your moment may feel delayed. Now, Aries, let's talk about something important. What if you've been waiting for your moment for months? What if you've been doing the work, staying hopeful, trying again, and still wondering, when is it finally going to happen? Here's what I want you to understand. A delay does not always mean denial. Sometimes the delay is preparation. Sometimes the thing you want is not being withheld from you. Sometimes you are being prepared to hold it. Think about it. If you received everything you wanted before you developed the strength to manage it, the blessing could become another burden. That relationship might arrive before you understand your worth. That opportunity might arrive before you're prepared. That money might arrive before you know how to manage it. That new chapter might begin before you've actually released the old one. So sometimes life creates a pause, and that pause can feel frustrating. But inside the pause, you are becoming someone different. And Aries, you may be much closer to that turning point than you realize. 4. The decision you may be avoiding. Now we reach the heart of today's message. There may be one decision you've been postponing, not because you don't know the answer, but because you already know the answer, and you're afraid of what happens after you admit it. Maybe you know you need to leave something behind. Maybe you know you need to start something. Maybe you know you need to finally have the conversation. Maybe you know you need to stop chasing something that keeps running away from you. Or maybe you know you need to give yourself permission to want more. Whatever it is, your next chapter may depend less on finding another sign and more on trusting the sign you've already received. Because sometimes we keep asking the universe for confirmation because we're hoping the answer will change. But deep down, we already know. And Aries energy is not designed to stay frozen forever. You are built for movement. You are built for courage. You are built for beginnings. So ask yourself tonight, what decision would I make if fear was not part of the equation? Don't rush the answer. Sit with it. Because the first answer that comes to your mind may be the one you've been avoiding. 5. The second sign, synchronicities begin increasing. The second sign is subtle. You may start noticing patterns. A certain number repeatedly appears. A phrase keeps showing up. You hear the same message from completely different people. You think about something, and suddenly you encounter it. You remember an old dream. You have a strange feeling about an upcoming event. Now, don't misunderstand this. Not every coincidence needs to become a prophecy, but when you are becoming more aware of your life, you begin noticing connections you previously ignored. And that awareness matters, because your attention determines what you recognize. Imagine walking through a crowded city while looking down at your phone. You may pass dozens of interesting places without noticing them, but the moment you look up, you see everything. August 22nd is about looking up. Look at what's changing. Look at what keeps returning to your attention. Look at what makes your heart feel alive. And most importantly, look at what consistently brings you back to the same question. Because sometimes your next direction is hiding inside the thing you cannot stop thinking about. 6. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Aries, perfection can become a beautiful disguise for fear. You tell yourself, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll do it when the timing is perfect. I'll make the move when I know exactly what will happen. But here's the problem. You may never know exactly what will happen. Life doesn't usually give you a complete map. It gives you the next step, and then the next one, and then another. That's how confidence is created, not by knowing everything beforehand, but by learning that you can handle what comes next. So if something has been calling you forward, don't demand certainty. Ask for clarity. There is a difference. Certainty says, show me the entire road. Clarity says, show me the next step. And that next step might be incredibly small. One message, one application, one conversation, one decision, one boundary, one morning where you finally stop making excuses for the life you know you have outgrown. Small decisions create major timelines. Never underestimate the power of one choice. 7. The third sign, your energy becomes quieter. This may surprise you. The final sign isn't always excitement. Sometimes it's peace. When something is truly aligned, you may stop obsessing over it. You stop checking every 5 minutes. You stop asking everyone what they think. You stop trying to force the outcome. You simply know, I'm going to do this. That quiet certainty is powerful because fear is loud. Fear creates endless questions. What if? What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I regret it? But intuition often speaks differently. It can be calm, simple, almost ordinary. And sometimes your greatest breakthrough begins with a very quiet realization: I don't need to be afraid anymore. Aries, if you've been experiencing moments of unexpected calm lately, don't dismiss them. You may be entering a different phase. The dream is becoming a decision, and the decision is becoming movement. 8. What you must not do on August 22nd. There is one thing I want you to avoid. Do not sabotage your progress by comparing your timeline to someone else's. This is especially important. You may look online and see someone receiving the opportunity you've been waiting for, someone getting married, someone becoming successful, someone moving into their dream home, someone traveling, someone starting over, and suddenly you think, why not me? But you are seeing their highlight, not their entire story. Your journey has its own timing. Your life does not become late because someone else's life moved faster. You are not behind, you are becoming. So instead of asking, why haven't I received it yet? Ask, what is this season teaching me? That question changes everything, because now you are no longer measuring your life by what you don't have. You're recognizing what you're becoming, and that is where real power begins. 9. Your moment is closer than you think, Aries. I want you to imagine something. Imagine standing in front of a door. You've been waiting outside for a long time. You assumed the door was locked. You pushed. Nothing happened. You knocked. Nothing happened. Eventually, you stepped back. But what if the door was never locked? What if you were simply waiting for yourself to turn the handle? That is the energy of this message. Your breakthrough may not require another sign. It may require participation. Your dream needs your decision. Your vision needs your action. Your future needs your courage. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to change your entire life tonight. You only need to make one honest choice. One choice that says, I am no longer abandoning myself to keep everything comfortable. One choice that says, I am willing to become the person my future requires. One choice that says, I trust myself enough to take the next step. And once you take that step, something changes, not necessarily instantly, but internally. You stop being someone waiting for life to happen. You become someone creating movement. 10. Your August 22nd message. So, Aries, if you take nothing else from this message, take this. Your dream is not asking you to wait forever. It is asking you to decide. Maybe the universe isn't asking, are you ready for everything? Maybe it's asking, are you ready for the next step? And if the answer is yes, then let August 22nd become your turning point. Release the need to know every detail. Release the fear of making the wrong move. Release the belief that you need everyone's approval. You don't. You need honesty. You need courage. And you need a willingness to move when the opportunity appears, because your moment may arrive differently than you imagined. It may come through a message, a conversation, an invitation, a sudden realization, a door opening unexpectedly, or even the disappearance of something you thought you needed. Don't assume the unexpected means something has gone wrong. Sometimes the unexpected is exactly how your next chapter enters. So stay awake, stay observant, and stay willing, because something you've been dreaming about may be much closer than you think. Before you leave, take a deep breath and repeat this slowly. I trust the timing of my life. I release what no longer belongs in my future. I choose courage over fear. I am ready for my next chapter. And finally, I am not waiting for my moment. I am becoming ready to meet it. Aries, if this message found you at the right time, comment, "I am ready." Not because you know exactly what happens next, but because you are ready to take the next step. And if you want to receive the next Aries message as this energy continues to unfold, make sure you're subscribed, because sometimes the biggest chapter of your life doesn't begin with a loud announcement. Sometimes it begins with one quiet decision. And Aries, your decision may be closer than you think.